Greetings and welcome to Disrupt Your Day with Petula Sankarsingh. I am the CEO and founder of VisionReady. Disrupt Your Day brings you the struggles, stories, and success of entrepreneurs to learn from and disrupt your day. Hello and welcome to Disrupt Your Day. I am your host, Petula Sankarsingh. Today we have Elizabeth, one of our amazing entrepreneurs, and we are very excited to have her on our podcast. She will be talking about her struggles, stories, and success of her entrepreneur journey. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being part of Disrupt Your Day. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to hearing about your journey as an entrepreneur. So turning the mic over to you.
Yes. Hi, my name is Elizabeth and I run Bonjour Branding from Dallas, Texas. So I started this after quite a journey. I think so many times it feels like entrepreneurs are these overnight success and they're have this funnel and it makes $1 million and it was only 3 days. And it's so much to live up to when you put all these expectations on yourself that it's going to be just immediate success. But I can tell you that it wasn't for me and it wasn't for a lot of people I know, if you really kind of know the backstory.
Mhm.
I have 2 kids today. I lost my first business when my daughter was critically ill when she was 1. And I spent like most of the year in and out of the hospital with her. And I just completely lost that business and had to take some time away. And I tell people that a lot of times just to normalize the fact that your first business may not be like your $1 million idea, right? A lot of people have tried more than one thing or they've had life get in the way. I think COVID did that for a lot of people. But the good news is that we can all come back, we can start again, and that, there's always a chance to try something new or pivot or make it what you wanted it to be. And today I do branding and personal style. And I know that sometimes people think that's a weird combo, but I think for so many women, I work mainly with women, but we are the person who's kind of the face of the business. We're the CEO, the visionary. We maybe have a couple people who work for us, but essentially, like, we are the driving force of the business. And when you hide who you are or don't want to put yourself out there, it really takes away the power of your brand because you are the brand when you're a service provider, especially. And a lot of women hesitate to put themselves out there, but it's so important.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Elizabeth, especially when you say normalizing, right? That doesn't happen much for us as entrepreneurs. We're so hard on ourselves and we're our worst critics, right? So thank you for
For
sharing that
sure.
part. Yes. And your
Yeah.
brand as well, I think is amazing. Because in our first conversations we've had, I mentioned to you that I want to be a solid CEO behind the brand, but I've now, realized no, I have to do that as well. So how do you get yourself out there?
Well, I think that the good news for everyone who does want to be a silent CEO is that there's lots of different ways to get visibility. It's
Mhm.
not a one size fits all. You can kind of like start slow and build up your comfort level. And it doesn't have to be like you're on some crazy TV show the first time, right? Like we can
Yes.
all work up to what we feel good about. And
Mhm.
that I think that really helps people like ease themselves into it rather than
Mhm.
just like feeling like it's all or nothing, right? So
Right.
many times in business, people think it's like I'm successful or I'm not, or like I'm out there or I'm not, right? Like
Mhm.
you can build up little by little and grow your brand
Mhm.
visibility. And I think it's just a question of finding what works for you and what you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
I help women. I've styled over 10,000 women one-on-one,
Wow.
which is crazy. But it's funny because you realize that a lot of us struggle, like regardless of our age and our size and our industry and where we live, we all struggle with a lot of the same things. And you don't have to let those things hold you back, because really, A, like a lot of people aren't judging you the way you're judging yourself. And B, like we all struggle with things. And it's just normal. And then when you can be open about that, it almost like it's powerful because it connects people with you and with your brand, because they think, oh, I can really relate to this person. They're not some like perfect $1 million influencer who seems like so far out of reach, right? Like they're more like, oh, I can see myself in that journey, right?
Yes.
And I love podcasting. I'm kind of chatty. So this one's
I love it.
The Southerner in me. I love podcasting, but there's so many good ways that you can collaborate and grow your brand through visibility that can be really powerful and a really good way to add value to people you've never met before and expand kind of who knows about you.
So what has been your challenge in working, because you primarily work with women, correct?
Yes.
Okay. In helping them branding with their brand as well as styling them, like what has been the challenge with kind of combining both?
I think that one of the big misconceptions in branding these days is that it has to be, it's like the emphasis is like, do what your target avatar would want, right? And people build up that like my avatar is this, woman and she's named Kate and she shops here or whatever. And it's really specific and people get hung up on like, but I don't know Kate's favorite color and things like that. But I really think that we need to let that go. Like I wrote a book with 20 other women called the Female Entrepreneurs Playbook. And it's funny because we were working on cover design and people were voting on the colors and stuff. And technically all of these women are in my target demographic. Like they're all women entrepreneurs. They all could have been a client in theory. And so, but it was funny because no one had the same feelings about colors. Like some women thought we should use pink because it's the Female Entrepreneurs Playbook, like it's female, right? Other people thought that was like too predictable. So we should use blue and like take a strong, like have like more masculine energy about it. And it's an example of like, these are all women who were sort of like in demographics relatively similar. And they could all be in your target market, but they had totally different colors, right? I think that becomes such a stumbling block. I really think that there's a lot more power in creating a brand that you connect with. And when you connect with the brand, you're going to just be so much more excited about it. It's going to come through in the way that you talk about it and share about it. Like my brand is Bonjour Branding. That's French. And I French things. Not everyone who's a female entrepreneur does, but that's okay, right? Like you're going to connect with some people and they're going to think, oh, that's unique or that's different, or I wonder why she likes that. And like it brings people in to something that's more authentic to me as the service provider. And that's how you find the people that connect with you, when you can authentically like put your stake in the ground and say, this is what I like. This is who I am. This connects with me and I'm inviting you into my world. Then people, they can feel that. When you try to just be like, the other one can feel a little needy, like, ooh, what do you like? Do you like this color of pink? Like, I don't know. Like it's a little insecure sometimes because you don't know and you keep switching because it's like one random person says, oh, that's too neutral or that's not neutral or whatever it is. And you can feel really like tossed about and people end up like switching their brand too much. It's because they haven't really just stood in their own power. Like it's your brand. You can be a millionaire with orange. You can be a millionaire with pink. It doesn't matter. Like it's really about you feeling it and connecting with it.
Nice. So talk about your book a little bit.
Yeah, so we have a book coming out. It's in this fall and it launches in October. It's called the Female Entrepreneurs Playbook. secret strategies from 20 plus women on building a life you love and getting paid for it. And I think it's cool because it's meant to be kind of like a mastermind in book format. So for people who have never been in a mastermind, a lot of the value of that is getting sort of different perspectives, because I'm a huge believer in the fact that there's not one right way to build your business, or one true story, or one best. We get a little focused on like best, most, fastest, cheapest, like there are many ways to build a business that's successful, and you just have to figure out what works for you.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're launching in October. And what is the goal in providing this to women entrepreneurs?
I think the goal, a lot of it, is to encourage women, introduce them to kind of a wide range of journeys. Like some of us are moms, some of us aren't. There's a bit of a range of age. We live all over the country. And just to, like we said, like to normalize that, some people have been in business a long time, some people it's shorter, but that we're all on our own journey, and that you can define success however you want to. And that's really the power of entrepreneurship. It's not someone else's, but again, like you have to step in that power and say, this is success for me. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be, I pick my kids up from school, or I take Fridays off and volunteer at a charity I really care about, or whatever. It can be a lot of different things. That doesn't have to be about hitting 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, those guideposts you hear from other people.
Exactly. I agree with you. I'm glad you said that. Because when I talk to the other entrepreneurs on the podcast, I ask them, what does success look like for you? And it's different for everyone, right? Like you said, it may not be a monetary goal. It may be, I helped 10 women feel fabulous, right? Or whatever that may look like for you. So as you stand right now in your business, as well as you're about to have this amazing book launching in October, what does success look like for you and your company?
Yes. Well, I think for me, like my core of success is just having a lot of flexibility and time freedom for my family. Having had kids who struggled with chronic health problems, like time for me was more valuable than money, because you can make a lot of money working for corporations. Like money isn't unique to entrepreneurship, but what is, I think, truly unique is being able to create that flexibility for yourself. And I think COVID was a reminder of that for a lot of people. They're like, whoa, like what is my life like with no childcare? Which was wild is the answer.
Exactly.
Anyway. But, and then within my business, I am just really passionate about helping women gain more confidence and more positivity. And I think that sometimes too, having that in your business, it really starts with having that in yourself. Like if you feel bad about who you are and how you look and how you're presenting yourself to the world, that can have such a negative effect on putting yourself out there. Like I've styled women for TED Talks, but if people are too scared to take some of those opportunities, they hold themselves back. And I just really enjoy helping women to feel more confident, to overcome some of those limiting beliefs that they probably don't even realize they have. And because I take a really unique spin on personal styling, it's much less about the clothes and more about the mindset. And when people come to me, they usually say like, I'm doing X, like I have, like a TED Talk or something personal, like I have a high school reunion or whatever. And then they usually say, but I want to hide my stomach, or I hate my arms, or whatever. It's something very negative usually. And I think we need to like turn that around and build an outfit around what I call flaunting your faves. Like,
oh, tell me about it.
Like, I want you to find something about yourself that you like you like your hair color or your eyes, or whatever it is, you got to find something. Sometimes that takes a minute, but like, even if you like it a little, and then we want to build an outfit around showcasing something positive rather than hiding something you perceive as a negative, because the end result of that is just so much more positive. Even if you like quote unquote succeed in hiding your arms or hiding your midsection, that's not a very like positive energy. Like you're still like in hiding versus like, I'm going to like really play up my whatever blue eyes with like a lovely top in a color and like maybe some earrings to like draw attention in my face, you know, like then you feel prettier. Like your end goal was a much more positive place than just like I succeeded in hiding myself. And I think that's like a brand too, right? Like you don't want to hide your insecurities. You want to lead with your strengths, and we all have strengths. So you have to like find them and then like really lead with those.
Yes, I so agree. I think that, yes, I think we all need to find what the beauty within ourselves. But like you said, it takes work, you know, for all of us to put into ourselves. And I think self-care and self-love is really important as a woman entrepreneur, you know. So hopefully you'll be styling me for a TED Talk soon. I've always loved those. I'm so obsessed with those. Have you done one yourself, Elizabeth?
I have never done one. No.
Oh, I think you would
be cool though. I'll have to add it to my bucket list for sure.
Yes. So what advice would you give to a new entrepreneur now starting and like they have a vision and they want to start their own brand, woman entrepreneur, obviously, what advice would you give them that you've learned, like a lesson you learned in the from starting yourself?
Yeah, I think the main thing I see for newer entrepreneurs, especially women, is they get stuck in what I call branding, where they say,
I like
that. I will launch my brand or my website or my logo when it's perfect. But perfect is not a destination, and the perfect fairy never comes down and says, you've achieved perfection. Launch today. It doesn't exist. And I think a lot of times we hide behind, like, there is a lot of, you know, I mean, maybe fear is a little strong, but like there's that uncertainty of like, what if it works? What if people think I'm weird? What if people don't expect this from me? Like, you know, and I think sometimes you feel that resistance the most from people you know, rather than like, you might be okay running Facebook ads to strangers, but you don't want like your best friend to know you launched something and it like didn't have any sales or something, right? Like, which doesn't really mean anything about you. So try to detach from the outcome. But people just get stuck in branding, where they're procrastinating by saying like, oh, I need to tweak my colors or tweak my design. I do think, you know, you want to put something together that feels cohesive. Like there is kind of a base level of feeling professional. Because people aren't going to give you money, especially over the internet, if they don't feel like you're going to really fulfill and like, you know, that you can provide a real service or product like based on the promise. So there is a basic level that you do want to hit.
Yes.
But you can get there pretty quickly. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Like I'm a big fan of templates because I think there's a lot you can do with a well-designed template that doesn't cost you a lot. And then you want to grow into that brand. So you just have to like pick something and launch and know that there is no wrong answer. You can be wildly successful with any Pantone color. So like, it doesn't have to be right. It just has to be like what you go with, and just get it out there and don't kind of get caught in the weeds of the details of like the perfect logo or the perfect this or that, because you can always change it. And your first year in business, you're going to learn so much about who you end up attracting, what offer really works. You know, your business is going to evolve and your branding will evolve with it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there, go for the launch.
Oh, that's amazing advice to give for a new entrepreneur. And I completely agree. Perfectionism does not exist. So definitely for them to get out there. Love your brand. Bonjour Branding. I think you are amazing, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being part of the show. How I would like to end the show is I like to celebrate the entrepreneurs on our podcast, telling their story, sharing what they struggled with, sharing their success, and also lending advice to other new entrepreneurs starting, because we have to learn somewhere, right? So, um, so today we'll be doing a toast together. What I like to do is end each podcast with a toast for success. Elizabeth choice of wine today, but it's champagne. She and I like to symbolize the varietal with their personality, with my podcasters' personality. So champagne is throughout the world. It's perceived as wine of happiness and celebration, and which is, every single moment of life to celebrate any success. And I think you're vibrant. I think you bring happiness. I think you bring celebration to whomever you work with. And you definitely brought it today for your podcast. So I'm going to grab my glass. And if you can grab yours. So hopefully you can see it. Okay. So cheers to you. Remember, success is like a hangover. So cheers, Elizabeth.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening. Make sure and subscribe to our podcast. For the latest entrepreneur buzz, sign up for our e-newsletter. Link in description. Remember, success is like a hangover. Cheers.